As you can see, the wait is over. I can finally use a full stick of deodorant. But more importantly, let's get to some Q&A and what we're doing in the future. Boom! Again, off the trail, but still boom. We're gonna take care of the Q&A, finally. Thank you for your patience. For our PCT 2021 through hike, Unicorn and Rental gonna answer some questions here on the PCT that we got from some viewers. We had a little extra time and I thought we can knock it out now and stay in touch with the community a little bit here and keep the energy moving. But thank you very much for your time and patience. As you can see, we have Wookie here resting with us a little bit, and Stella sleeping on the ground here back.
She's here too.
She's down by the pool sleeping. But anyway, let's get moving. Let's start with Larry Neese, who asked what our favorite part of the PCT and the worst part of the PCT was. And Unicorn, the game here is we didn't discuss the answers with each other. Unicorn answered them separately, I answered them separately, so that's going to be part of the fun. Today, what fun we're having. Okay, so Larry Neese. Unicorn, your favorite part of the PCT?
Was the people. Met a lot of really awesome hikers.
All right.
So that, after really thinking that question through, that was actually a hard one because I had a lot of favorite parts, but I think it comes down to the people we met.
Okay. Your worst part?
My worst part was heavy food, water, and carries. Food and water carries.
Okay. Heavy food, water, and carries. I want to remind you we are outside and the traffic is moving. So I just want to let you know, hope you don't get swallowed by the mic or the noise. Okay, so heavy food carries. My favorite part of the PCT is it was the weather. I like the change of the weather. I like the fact that sometimes, like, even if it was really cold, it would get warm, and then if it was really hot, then sometimes it would get cool. And the worst part about the PCT was that the weather changed. So it's the thing where the worst doesn't last like forever and the best doesn't last forever. It changes so dramatically. It's something I've never experienced, just being outdoors and seeing the change of weather. So I loved it, and at the same time I hated it. So I guess it balanced itself out. So good question, Larry Neese. Thank you very much. So the next question comes from Triptych, Triiptych, Triptych. I think Triptych is commenting on the channel a lot. Triptych asks, what was more difficult, the steep Cascades or the elevation in the Sierras? So Unicorn, would you like to answer that question?
To me, it was the Sierra Mountains because my breathing was a lot more difficult with the elevations, and I struggled a little bit more with that. When we were in the northern Cascades, I feel like we had our legs, so I felt like we were crushing pretty good there.
Awesome. Okay. So same thing for me. Is the steep Cascades or the elevation in the Sierras for Triptych? I would actually have to say the elevation in the Sierras. There's no doubt in my mind.
Yeah.
Above 10.8 elevation. I know I took note around anything over 10.8 was difficult. I think trees weren't growing above then, and my chest started hurting. So I did take note, anything above 10.8. Anything below 10.8, you have the trees to block you from the sun or the weather. There was a lot above 10.8 though.
Yeah, you're just kind of staying up there in elevation the whole time, even when you're not going over the passes. So
it's awesome. So
yeah.
Triptych, looks like both of us thought that the elevation in Sierra chain
was harder than the Cascades.
Was harder than the Cascades. Boom, and we're just gonna do that. I'm gonna fade in and fade out. I don't want these clips to be too long on my edits. There's a reason for that. I'm doing everything mobilely as well, so all the editing is still gonna be continued to be on the mobile phone. I'm gonna try to keep it that way. So the next question comes from Barney Rubble. He's got a few. So Barney Rubble, let's figure this out. We'll take care of Barney Rubble for this clip. Ask me, do you still got your lime green on? I take it this question is for me. Of course, Barney Rubble, even when I don't have my Languine on, it still was on because it's in my soul and it's in your soul. You know what I mean? If you got your Languine on, everyone, that's an episode Harmony in the Forest Part 2 with Tree Boy, when I did a cameo with Tree Boy and Sweetness, and I sang a song. It's always on and on and on. Okay, so Barney Rubble, next question. Barney Rubble has a bunch. Did you have a good time? So Unicorn.
I said hashtag happiest known time.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You had your happiest known time? Okay.
Hashtag happiest known time.
Alright. Did I have a good time? I would say yes.
Yeah.
So Barney Rubble, yes. The answer is absolutely yes. We had a good time. We had happiest known time. Happy to be home.
Yes. Very happy to be back home with the dogs.
Right. Happy to be home? I would say yes. Very happy to be home. Feels good to be in the comforts and realize there's so many cushions to life. So many cushions to this life.
So easy at home.
It's pretty easy.
Everything's easy.
It's pretty
at
easy.
home.
It's pretty easy. Okay, so Unicorn having withdrawal from trail.
Yes. Also, yes. So happy to be home, but also missing the trail.
Yes.
We miss the mountains. We definitely love nature and the mountains.
Yes, I do. I massive withdrawal. I know everyone has done it through hike, section hike. When you get home, you still want to squeeze. So this is what I do. Just squeezing in the pool. This is what I do. This is kind of therapy for anything post-trail depression. You don't need drugs or anything like that. You just squeeze right into the pool. If you don't have a pool, you can squeeze right on the ground. Okay. Or just in your mouth. You don't have to waste the water. So absolutely we're having withdrawal from the trail. 120%. Most memorable section of the trail, Unicorn?
For me, it was going slow through the Sierra Mountains and really getting to enjoy it.
Okay, again, we did not discuss the answers together. Favorite, most memorable section of the trail for me, Sierra 2. I have to say the Sierra change just simply because I didn't know there were that many passes. I thought it was like, for whatever reason, you thought it was like Forester and like Mirror and then maybe another one. I didn't know it was like 9 or whatever it was. It was like 7 or it was so many. So that's definitely a memorable section because every time we got over a section, I thought we were done. And then it was like another pass and it just seemed like it went forever. Definitely memorable. Okay, favorite stop off the trail, Unicorn?
For me, that was Willamette Pass Inn. They had a fireplace in the room there, groceries right across the street, had kind of everything we needed, laundry, everything, so that was my favorite.
Awesome. Favorite stop off the trail for me, VVR. Definitely. Vermilion Valley Resort. Had a great time there, repaired there. You know, Mike back to the chef doing good, and Megrith, you know, she just greeted you at the door and made it seem like you were family. That was awesome. So favorite meal off the trail?
Actually...
For the meal of the trail, sorry.
Of the
favorite
trail
meal of the trail?
was some fried chicken at VVR. So they did have really good kitchen, and it was fresh hot meals, breakfast and lunch and dinner. So really good fried chicken there.
I'm going to say for me, favorite meal of the trail, I'm going to cheat. I'm going to say it was 3. The dinner, we didn't discuss these. We didn't discuss these together. I'm going to say the dinner with John and Joe on the deck. Remember that? Home-cooked meal right off of Aqua Dolce. Trail Angel, John Didias.
That was good.
That was cool, right? Cool night, right? That was a really good meal. It's hard to remember the people in the beginning.
That is good.
That was a good night. It was a nice, cool night. We had some good times, right? And then I'm going to go in the Class B lasagna. In the Class B lasagna, right? We remember that.
Lasagna is your favorite.
Remember on the way to Terminus, right? Remember that? So that would be Mary's family as well, and I remember that meal.
Then if we wanted to do the
Then
barbecue
yes,
chicken,
then the barbecue. You're
and
cheating. You're looking
beans
down.
and
So
salad.
then the favorite meal was also the barbecue home cooked meal.
So that you like the home cooked.
Yeah. So to me, it was almost all 3 of those were my favorite meal. Every single one of them were a little bit different, right? We had the cool one on the deck. We got one in the RV, and then we got one in the house. It was a lovely, lovely time for all. So that's my favorite meal of the trail. So we'll get on to the next round of questions after a little break here. This is tiring stuff. It's so tiring being a through hike or vlogger. It's such a tiring life. So let's take a little break here. Maybe I'll sort of squeeze. Boom, we're back. So I'm glad that thing didn't change focus. Anyway, so Nelson asked right now, so those are the last questions were all Barney Rubble. So Nelson asked, do you like to send resupply boxes, or do you prefer on the fly resupplies?
On the fly for sure.
So you like on the fly?
Yeah, on the fly.
Yeah.
prepping and preparing, sometimes you send maybe at least we did, too much when we had to do it. So on the fly made it easier just to get what you needed, not too much.
Yep, I like on the fly. You know, we're not talking about cost. We're not talking about cost savings or like if you have a special diet. I'm just saying if I had my choice, it would be on the fly. Just flexibility. Just it's so much easier that way. And it's a lot easier than sometimes what's said online or on applications that you're like. I mean, you can resupply pretty easily in a lot of spots, in my humble opinion, without diet restrictions. That is, if you don't have them. How do you feel about start and the end dates? Unicorn, how do you feel about the start and the end dates? That's what Nelson wants to know.
I liked our dates. We started April 7th and ended September 25th, I believe. And I think in that time we definitely started early and got nice cool weather in the desert. And
yeah, I don't think it was. Yeah.
By the time we finished, we got the full experience, I feel.
Yeah, April 7th to September 23. So
September 23.
yeah, so April 7th, I think, to September 23. I double check. If not, I'll correct myself on screen.
Actually, yeah,
Yeah,
you're right.
I think it was September 23. It was definitely 23rd. So yeah, in terms of how did I feel about the start and the end dates, I would think that April 7th was great, safe time. So I'm gonna go there. I'm looking at it was safety. It was about late March. It was like some snow in San Jacinto. Maybe I would leave mid-April. Maybe I think if I can do it over, if I can replicate the laboratory setting, you know, there'd be a lot of things I would try to change, but you know, maybe as long as it's April, I feel that was a good time to start going northbound. If you're not a super crusher, if you're super crusher, you can pick any date, I guess. But I thought April was a good date. John JDS asked, what did you get better at? So he came back at us. John JDS asked, what did you get better at? What did you get better at, Unicorn?
Letting go of feeling like I needed to plan, because whenever I tried to plan, they rarely worked out, and sometimes it was exciting not knowing where we were going to sleep that night.
Right, so you got better at the lack of planning. So
yes.
what did I get better at? I don't know, I think I got better at focusing and just understanding the task at hand is what's needed. I tend to get involved with many projects and not focus, but on trail it has forced me to focus at the task at hand. So I believe I got better at focusing. I know I answered Barney Rubble early on that I got better at video editing. I think that might be a part of my answer. So whether it was video editing or hiking or focusing on getting your clothes clean, you just have to really focus at the task at hand because something else has to happen before you hike. And that's it, there's no skipping it. Whether it's foot care or you have to do it, there is no skipping. So I think I got eventually better at just sucking it up and doing certain things that I didn't necessarily want to do, that I was forced to do. So yes, definitely got better at that. Maybe just kind of biting my lip and doing things. I got better at that. So thank you for that question. We're gonna get back to the last question here in a bit. Boom, we're back from a little water break because this is tough work. Last question. Some guy, also known as Eric, we're going to say also known as Eric, but some guy, you all know some guy, the big crusher that we met on trail. He asked, what trail's next? That's a great question, Unicorn.
Probably doing some parts of the Florida Trail next.
So Unicorn believes we'll be doing some parts of the Florida Trail next. What trail is next? I think that's a general question. I'm going to say, you know, probably parts of the Florida Trail, but I think maybe some guys asking what trail in terms of what through hike trail is next, not just what trail you're going to hit next. So Unicorn dodged that question. I'm going to kind of think about that for a while. There's a lot of options out there, what's happening. There's a lot of changes coming up in 2022. Plans have changed, vice versa. There's a few out there right now that we discussed, but not quite ready to answer that question. So I'm going to leave you hanging, but what I will tell you is that will become a lot clearer in terms of what other big project, what other big hike are we doing next. That'll come clear after these weeks and some of these days fly by. But with that said, thank you for tuning in. This is probably painful for a lot of folks and a lot of nature, just us sitting here with Wookie in Unicorn's lap. But be trying to get out our first big gear review. I think I'm going to try to really focus in on some of the bigger parts of the gear before I get to some of the smaller pieces that I brought together. But yeah, I'll probably start off with my backpack, the Z-Packs Arc Haul. I'm going to start off the 2021 post-PCT gear review where I talk about build quality, weight, packability, and function. All those four together. come up with a numerical order, but really about happiest known time. Did it give me happiest known time or didn't it? And we'll be going through that here in a little bit, but thank you very much for tuning in for our Q&A session. Hopefully we answered all of the questions clearly. We can keep asking them, keep moving on, but thank you very much for your time. We're still hashtagging what?
Happiest known time.
We're still hashtagging happiest known time. We're gonna get ready for dinner here. Gear reviews will be coming out. Some guy will be answering that question sometime in the future. We will catch everyone on the other side. Thank you very much for watching.